how important polity in civil services exams and also other state public services exams?
From this polity constitution, you will get minimum 12 to 13 questions. So, and this is the low hanging fruit, I always say, even when I take classes in our academy. You will start with the basic concepts first, and then you will understand about the executive, legislature, judiciary first. So, did you watch the movie RRR?
Yes.
I think every Indian would have watched it. That is why it is called a pan Indian cinema.
Yes.
RRR. So, the 5 types of mercy.
Hello all. Today we have Rangarajan sir with us. So sir has secured All India rank 46 in his first attempt in 2005 civil services exam. So sir, as a constitutional expert, has used to write many articles, editorials in newspapers, has written many books as well. And sir is the associate director of Officers IAS Academy, and he teaches polity here. So today in this video, we will have a brief discussion on the significance of polity in our exam. Hello sir.
Hello, Kunal.
So first, I would like to have a clarification on two terminologies which everyone faces. Everyone has a confusion. That is, what is the difference between polity and politics?
Yeah. So, see, polity, it's not a scientific term, but if you look at polity, the definition broadly is the system of governance in a country. Now, what do you think is the polity of Saudi Arabia? What is the system of governance there? It's a monarchy. What is the system of governance in North Korea? It's a dictatorship. What is the system of governance in India, UK? It's a democracy. So the polity can be a monarchy, it could be a dictatorship, it could be a communist rule like in China, or it could be a democracy like in India, USA, Australia, Canada, etc. So polity is basically the system of governance in the country. Politics happens as part of that. And so all the news that we read about politics, there is still an underlying constitutional principle which is there in that.
I have another doubt where the words polity and the constitution is being interchangeably used. See, a lot of books available in the market regarding the constitution is titled as polity.
Correct.
Even in the syllabus, we see polity and governance, but what we read is the constitution and the articles.
Absolutely.
What is the actual relationship between these two?
So the first answer answers this also.
Okay.
So what determines the system of governance in our country? It is the constitution. So we are a democratic polity, and what determines, so we vote for elections for our members of parliament. We will vote next year in 2024. Tamil Nadu Assembly happened in 2021, West Bengal happened in 2021. Now Rajasthan, Telangana are choosing their MLAs. Then they will form the government. There are courts which interpret the laws and give judgments. Where do they get all these powers from? This is how our country is governed. That is the polity of the country. Where do they get all these powers from? That is all mentioned in the constitution. Because our polity is determined by our constitution, these two words are used interchangeably.
Okay. So how important polity in civil services exams and also other state public services exams?
Yeah, so it is part of the syllabus of all state public service and of course the IAS, IPS, UPSC exams. So, in every state examinations, also there are enough number of questions which come from this subject. And if you take the UPSC exam, civil service exam, the cutoff in the last 5 to 6 years has been around 90 or 95 max. And it has been reducing. It's around 87 last year. And from this polity, constitution, you will get minimum 12 to 13 questions. So, and this is the low hanging fruit, I always say, even when I take classes in our academy. This is a low hanging fruit if you understand it correctly. But if you understand it correctly, you can get almost all of them correct, which means you will end up scoring 24 to 26 marks out of the requirement of 90-95 marks. So, more than 1/4 of your cutoff comes from just this one subject. And of course, it is useful in mains, in both in state exams and in UPSC, GS paper 2 and so on and so forth.
We see a lot of changes in the nature of questions coming from polity in our exam. So what kind of changes you have observed in this polity, in prelims as well as mains?
Absolutely. See, UPSC has this habit of linking current events with both prelims and in mains. For example, in the year 2018, there was a question on presidential election, right? Value of votes of MLAs and MPs. Again in 2023, there were 2 questions on presidential election in the prelims. Why were they asked? Because in 2017, there was a president election in India. In
Okay.
2022, there was a president election in India. In 2018, there was a question on money bill. Why was that asked? Because there was a Aadhaar judgment on money bill just few months before. Some questions are straightforward. Right to privacy was declared as a judgment, and then based on that questions come. But how the current events get right to marry a person of one's choice was asked as a prelims question. Why was that asked? Because there was a Hadia case which was decided by the Supreme Court in 2018. Similarly, in the mains, if you come, 2014, a question was asked relating to pardoning power. Why was it asked? Because there were 2 important judgments on Shatrughan Chauhan case and Rajiv Gandhi assassin case that was decided in 2014. 2016, a preamble related question was asked. That was because just 6 months before or 1 year before the exam, there was a advertisement on the Republic Day which gave the original preamble where India is described as a sovereign democratic republic, leaving out the words socialist and secular. So that created some kind of talking point and controversies. That could have been the trigger for this question. So, I can just keep explaining, going on and on, but there are some questions. Financial emergency, it has never been imposed in India, but it was asked as a mains question. So, UPSC makes a combination of pure static, pure current affairs, and a linkage of static and current affairs when it comes to both prelims and mains.
Okay. So, in that case, I'm able to understand that polity is a combination of the static as well as the dynamic events happening. So, how to master this?
No. So, in fact, there are many books available for polity, but I would also like to bring a reference here to the recent book that I have published, which is known as Polity Simplified,
Okay.
which has been published by McGraw-Hill Publication. It's a complete courseware, but this is the main book as part of that courseware. So, this is a book which helps in understanding the subject in a very simplified manner, as the name suggests.
Polity Simplified. So, my first impression is the book looks very handy. It should be around
450 pages. Yeah,
450
the
pages.
content is 450 pages.
So, whether this book will suffice all my prelims and mains need?
Absolutely. So, I'll explain how.
Okay.
So, this book, the arrangement of chapters itself is in a seamless manner.
Okay.
You will start with the basic concepts first, and then you will understand about the executive, legislature, judiciary first. Not the fundamental rights. I always say the constitution was written for running the country, but we are learning the constitution for writing an exam. So first you need to know how does the executive and legislature function, and they constitute the state on whom restrictions are placed in part 3 under fundamental rights. So once you understand this, and if the state violates the fundamental rights, the judiciary can strike it down. This understanding will come first when you understand the branches of governance.
Okay.
And over and above that, it has for prelims all the important areas based on past 10 years questions. It is highlighted in grey shade, if you can look at it.
Yes.
There are flowcharts and tables for explaining each and every concept in a simplified manner. And on top of it, there are also mnemonics.
Mnemonics, yes.
So mnemonics. So did you watch the movie RRR?
Yes.
I think every Indian would have watched it. That is why it is called a pan-Indian cinema.
Yes.
RRR. So the 5 types of mercy that is possible for the president or governor to give is pardon, commute, remission, respite and reprieve. P in pan-India stands for pardon. C in cinema stands for commutation. The 3 R's stand for remission, respite and reprieve.
Okay.
Everybody would have traveled by trains, and we would have got, we always worry whether the RAC will get confirmed or not. Reservation against cancellation. Yes. The same thing can be used as a mnemonic for the discretionary powers of the governor. There are 3 important discretionary powers of the governor. Reservation of bills, appointment of chief minister when no party has a majority, constitutional machinery if there is a breakdown. It has to be reported to the president. So RAC becomes the discretionary powers of the governor. A, B, C, D, E, F. That is 110 Article 1, Subclause 1.
Okay.
A to F defines a money bill.
Okay.
The same A to F I would have used as a mnemonic for easy remembrance. So these are some salient features, and prelims questions with explanation mains question with the likely context, approach, and a model answer has been provided.
Okay, for how many previous year questions?
So for 5 years, it is printed in the book.
Okay.
For the balance 5 years, it is available on the online platform.
Okay.
So
I see something, some code I'm able to observe.
Right.
So what is this Edge platform? Can you
So
explain?
this is a QR code which needs to be scanned by anybody who buys the book.
Okay.
And there is a code which you enter, and there is an instruction which is given, which will take you to the Edge platform of McGraw-Hill.
Okay.
And as you said, it's a combination of static and current events.
Yes.
So you need to master both.
Yes.
Only the
I was
static
about to
portion
ask.
is printed
Yes.
in the book. How do I master the current events?
Exactly.
So till 2023, whatever is there is here.
Yes.
After 2 years, when the new edition comes out, it will be there. But regularly, how do you get hold of it? So there are 50 conceptual videos for understanding the static portion thoroughly as part of this Edge platform. There are previous year questions and some additional learning material where you can go and practice. After every chapter you complete, you can go and practice the questions to do a self-assessment.
Take a test.
Online test of around 200 to 250 questions for all the chapters put together. But over and above that, for the current events, there is a separate section where I'll be making a monthly video and a PDF document. For whatever is the current event in that month. For example, there is a judgment of the Supreme Court on same-sex marriage, which affects the fundamental rights. That is not there in this book because that came after the book was printed. But that the candidates will be able to watch it in the month of November. Electoral bonds, the Supreme Court is going to give a judgment anytime soon. Whatever is the judgment, how it has an implication, that will be covered as part of the current events update in the Edge platform.
Okay. Very good, sir. Thank you so much, sir. The book really seems to be, Polity Simplified, and I'm very sure it is going to cater the needs of all the civil service aspirants and the state public service aspirants. So if I want to buy this book, from where I can purchase it? Available in Amazon, Flipkart?
Yes, it is available in Amazon, Flipkart, right? The links are available, and you can just go and Google it and get it then. And it will be available in all the leading bookstores as well.
Thank you so much, sir, for clarifying or demystifying the approach of polity for both prelims as well as mains.
Thank you.
So it had a great conversation with you, sir.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.